Second Chance Bikes is a non-profit organization committed to making bikes and bicycling accessible for everyone. Today, I talk one-on-one with Sylvie Baele, the executive director of this organization, for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Sylvie Baele, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
I appreciate it greatly. You know, we're sitting here in a, what do you call it?
It's a nonprofit bike shop.
Called Second Chance Bikes?
Correct. Yeah.
And I know that obviously you are the executive director of this because, as you mentioned, Second Chance Bikes is committed to making bicycles and bicycling accessible for everyone. So tell me, what's new, what's now with Second Chance Bikes?
Well, we have a lot of new things that we've just started and things that are in the works. We recently started an Earn a Bike program. So that's in addition to our Change a Tire, Change a Life program, which was our free bike program, which we still do.
Yes, ma'am.
But now we also have the Earn a Bike program where folks can come in. We have them volunteer an agreed number of hours. They learn some bike mechanic skills and help us out around the shop, and they can earn a bike.
So how many of those people who've actually gotten free bikes from you are now in this particular program?
Right now, we've had 2 new applications for that program this week, and this year we've probably had 3 or 4 people complete it already.
Wow.
It's a different program in that it kind of requires some effort on the part of the participant, as opposed to our Change a Tire, Change a Life program, which is really kicking off again since we closed and then reopened, and yeah, I think we're doing pretty good.
So what got you from obviously changing tires and helping people making a difference in their lives, and now saying, hey, we want to help you earn this particular bicycle?
Well, we've changed our free bike program so that the free bikes are just really simple, easy to maintain, easy to use. Beach cruisers with pedal back brakes, so they're really reliable. But then the Earn a Bike bikes are a little nicer. They have hand brakes and gears. And also we wanted to give people the opportunity to learn how to maintain the bike, because it's inevitable that you'll get a flat or that something will get worn out or need to be adjusted. And instead of them just trashing that bike, we wanted them to be able to be empowered to be self-sufficient in their transportation choices.
Absolutely. What transportation choices did these people in the program had before Second Chance Bikes came about?
Well, most of them are just walking. Either that or they're riding a bike that is unsafe, it's missing parts, or it's broken, or they're using Carta, sometimes getting rides from friends, or using Lyft and Uber, which can be really expensive.
Ooh. So let me ask you this then, and it's probably a redundant question, Sylvie, but how many people do you actually have in this program, have come through these doors right here, Second Chance Bikes?
Well, last year we gave away about 100 bikes, and then the year before we gave away 340. So we also sometimes will do a free bikes for kids giveaway as well. So the more volunteers we have, especially skilled volunteers, the more bikes we can get fixed up, and the more people that can get free bikes from us. We also provide low cost, pay what you can repair services. And so that's been a big change from our old location, where we were really difficult to find. Here, we're on a main thoroughfare, we're near the Carta Superstop, and we're able to do a lot of those pay what you can affordable repairs for people.
And so how many of those people have taken you up on that offer?
Oh gosh, I think last year, and so remember we opened in May of last year. So in just that time period last year, I think we did at least, I think we did like 230 repairs, and this year I think we're going to do a lot more.
And so what's the most requested repair?
Oh, probably flat fixes. I was riding my bike on my way here today, and it's almost like the street sweepers sweep all the debris into the bike lane when there is a bike lane, or if not, on the that side of the road where cyclists ride.
Wow.
So there's a lot. I mean, I've pulled earrings out of people's tires, glass, tiny metal wires, and a lot of times flats are caused by riding on improperly inflated or low inflated tires. It causes like the tube to shift around and then pinch. So in an effort to help remedy that, even when we're not open, people can come and use the pump that's outside in front of our shop.
Oh, that is amazing. So, as we say right now, Sylvia, how many more volunteers do you need to keep this up going?
Well, we have volunteer sessions every Thursday evening. Right now, we have a pretty dedicated crew of about 3 people who come in every week. But we would love to have more. We really work best with folks that want to learn and are committed to coming back multiple times, so that when we teach them, they can really get that hands-on experience to learn. We could easily use 5-6 more regular volunteers.
Wow. So you're obviously teaching a lot of people about bikes, but what have you learned about this process being the leader of Second Chance Bikes?
That's a great question. I have learned a lot. Right when I took on this position, I had finished a master's program in public administration at the College of Charleston.
Sure.
And I tell you, the real life experience you get from running a small, fairly young nonprofit is a lot different than what you're taught in your classes. I think the most important lesson I've learned is to be patient, to meet people where they're at, instead of creating programs that maybe I or someone else think they need, to ask them what they need and what they want, and then also to kind of do my best to get rid of expectations and my kind of vision for what I see, what I think it should be or become, and kind of let it take its natural organic course.
So going back to prior to you obviously becoming the executive director of this nonprofit, what were your expectations and now versus your realities?
Well, I think my expectations, they had been shaped by visiting a lot of similar organizations to this all over the country. And I think I expected that there would be more people coming to get involved, like to help and support.
Yes.
But maybe this is because there isn't a huge bike community in Charleston, but we don't get a lot of that. And I think I also expected it to not quite be so hard to kind of encourage people to get involved. It's almost like a full-time job just to follow up with people, to really let them know we want them to be here and we want them to come learn and help. But I think it's just a process.
So how do you meet people where they are now with the transportation needs for this community?
So part of the reason we started doing the affordable repairs or the pay what you can repairs, that's a big part of that. So folks would come in, and our normal rates are already pretty low compared to other bike shops. But if someone brings a bike in and that's their only transportation and they don't have any money, I mean, we will do what it takes to get it rolling. Within reason. We try to be mindful of our resources and use them wisely.
What resources do you need now to keep this up?
Well, as with all small nonprofits, funding. We have a little bit of a tricky time getting funding because a lot of grants that are like for bikes are really for infrastructure. And the way we provide bikes, it kind of can fall into multiple categories. You could say it's public benefit. You could say it's human services. It kind of involves all those things.
Sure.
There's physical health benefits. There's mental health benefits. People can be more self-sufficient. So it's really kind of intersectional. I like to think of bicycles as like intersectional tools of social justice, which I think maybe sounds a little crazy to some, but I think it can be argued.
So what tools do you need to keep this up?
I mean, I think having folks come in who are dedicated and want to learn and want to help repeatedly. And then funding.
Yes.
We're always trying to raise more funds.
Sure.
And I think just getting the word out.
Yes.
A lot of the folks that would like to receive a free bike from us or participate in the Earn a Bike program or use our repair services, a lot of information in that community is shared word of mouth. You know, they're not looking on Instagram or Facebook necessarily. So we could definitely use some help, like putting up some shop flyers and posters, things like that, passing out cards at community events, and connecting with folks from other local outreach organizations. You know, they don't have to be nonprofits, they can be churches, things like that, just so that folks can learn about us so that we could continue to serve people.
And this is a silly question, but I thought about it when you were talking about this. You talk about, obviously, most of those people are not looking on Instagram or Facebook, but most of them can actually go to the corner store or churches and pass out flyers. So what is your typical demographic?
I think our demographic is pretty diverse. There's a lot of folks that come in from the Chicora Cherokee neighborhood. So I would say probably over half is African American, and I would probably say 75-80% of our customers or clients are low income.
Wow. How many of those clients are actually repeat clients?
Oh, a lot of them. Once people find out about us, and they're folks that use their bike a lot, they will come in. I mean, I would say at least half or more of our folks are repeat customers.
So do they get the same bikes, or do they find something new that they want?
Well, usually we work on the same bike for them. We do try to limit folks to one free bike per year, just because we do have limited resources, and we want to be able to help everyone.
Help everyone. So what are the needs of the community that you're actually helping today?
I mean, bikes, transportation, being mobile. I mean, having independent mobility means that they can get to work, or different work opportunities that are further. They can access more nutritious food. They can get to medical appointments, visit friends and family. Their needs can be pretty diverse.
Wow. How many of your clients have actually obtained better employment because of the donations that you've given them?
Oh, I think a lot of them. For my master's thesis, I did some interviews with unhoused folks who had received bikes from us, and I would say, I think I did 13 interviews, and at least 8 folks were, doing side gigs or getting to work using those bikes.
Wow. And so in what way have your clients actually improved their physical and mental health?
So, it's funny I just mentioned my thesis, because in that research, the most common most common thing stated by folks was that their bike had improved whether it was their well-being or their outlook on life or how they feel about themselves. And, I think we're taught that folks that are struggling or in a challenging situation in life, that they'll be fine if they can just have shelter, food, and water. But people's mental health is really important. And if a bike can help improve that, and give them all these other opportunities or increase their access to them, then to me it's a great solution.
This is a silly question, though. What does a bike mean to you?
Bikes, I think, to me mean freedom. Whether that's the freedom to change my location, or the freedom to experience the outdoors, freedom to interact with people I might not normally interact with, that I pass when I'm riding. I think that's what bikes mean to me.
How has Second Chance Bikes changed you personally?
Oh gosh, well, I've been with Second Chance Bikes for probably close to 5 years now, so it's really shaped my identity. I think it has given me a deeper appreciation for the work that folks do who work for nonprofits. It's also taught me a lot about interacting with people who are different from me. And I don't know. I think it's also, in some instances, maybe, it's definitely shown me some things that are frustrating, like big systems that, need to be changed, whether that's institutionalized racism or housing, increasing housing costs and low wages. It's definitely made me more aware of how those issues affect people, like in a very real way.
So with the power that you have here, Chance Bikes, how do you hope to tackle those issues?
Well, it might seem silly, but I really encourage folks who are at or near the poverty line to avoid owning a car when they can, because cars can be really expensive, and especially cheap cars, right? They break. Yeah. There's things you got to pay for: insurance, gas, there's parking tickets, registration. Yes. So at a minimum, a car costs someone $3,000 a year. On average, it's probably closer to $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. So if someone can save that money by using a bike, it requires a little more planning and forethought, but it's totally possible. If you think of where do I live, where can I work, that's within a bikeable or bike bus radius, and I think that it can provide transportation, recreation. It can help people. I mean, there are times when I've been biking through an area that maybe I wouldn't feel safe walking through, but I feel a lot safer because I'm on my bike. I'm moving quickly. Right. Like I'm going to get there,
Wow, that's amazing. So when you think about Second Chance Bikes, what is your top seller here?
We have a really wide variety of bikes, of types of bikes. So I'm not sure that we have like a top seller because they're all different. I think probably a lot of people really like our like mountain bikes that have been turned into like around town bikes, primarily because they're a little bit of a wider tire. Sure. And the roads here can be a little less than ideal sometimes, so it can be a little smoother of a ride for folks.
And I know this is a big trend, and I love it a whole lot. I wish I could do it again sometime soon. But e-bikes, is that becoming a trend here?
It is. We see a lot of e-bikes. We will work on people's e-bikes as long as it's the bike part of it, not the electrical part. Right. Unfortunately, with demand for e-bikes increasing, the market is starting to get flooded with really low end, very affordable e-bikes, but ones that are a lot of times poorly made and poorly assembled in factories. And that can mean that they're really difficult to work on, especially when they don't include or make accessible, tech manuals, specs, things like that. And we do have a couple of e-bikes for sale that we would love to go to folks who need them.
Wow. When you're obviously repairing these bikes, any poorly made bicycles on that end?
I mean, we see poorly made and designed bikes all the time. One of the big problems with bikes that are sold in big box stores is that they're made from lower quality components and that they're not assembled by professional bike mechanics. So a lot of times they're assembled incorrectly or just kind of sloppily. There's not grease where there should be grease. Right. Things are tightened all the way. Yeah. And it's stuff that your average person probably wouldn't notice. Right. And it might not be an issue right off the bat, but over time it can cause bigger issues that are either very difficult to repair, like a nightmare for most mechanics, or they're not repairable. So we kind of want to provide people with another option, right? If someone has $200-300 to spend on a bike, instead of getting a brand new bike from Walmart or somewhere like that, that looks shiny and new but might not actually function well, they can come here and get a fully refurbished kind of quality brand bike that's been looked over by a professional mechanic.
And how many of those I'm being silly here, but how many fully refurbished bikes do you have?
I think I counted yesterday, and we have right around 40
Wow.
for sale right now. So we're pretty stocked up,
Huh.
and we're always accepting donations. We just ask that folks get them approved before they drop them off.
Right.
And we also get bikes from the police department, from CARTA, from apartment complexes, and so we always have more waiting in the wings to be fixed up.
And you have those donations on the side. So how can people help you all out to keep you going for the next 5, 10, 15 years from now?
Well, we are always looking for quality donations. If you got bikes hanging in your garage or sitting in your shed that you're not using, they can just text us a picture and we'll let them know we can take them. Folks can come and get involved, get hands-on. They can come to our Fix a Flat class and learn how to fix a flat, then hang out and help us repair folks' bikes or repair bikes that we're going to sell or give away. And we're always looking to expand and improve our board of directors too. That's a big thing for nonprofits, to have an active and passionate board.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Sylvie Baele with Second Chance Bikes, thank you for your time again. Welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thanks, Quintin. It's a pleasure.
Likewise.